My name is Chris, and I like to party.
What?
Yes, sir!
Changing up the format.
Yeah, buddy, that is a reference to the cinematic masterpiece Hot Rod.
That's
And I cannot think of any better way to introduce this episode of HowDoWeHuman, the podcast where we talk about all the awkward, weird, uncomfortable micro moments in life. I am one of your hosts. I already said my first name. It's Chris. And my last name is Binning.
And I am one of the hosts. I haven't said either of my names, but my last name is Cox, and my first name is Evan.
Ooh, changing up the format.
You changed it up first. I had to catch up.
The reason that I laid that quote out it's because today's episode topic is parties.
Parties.
And that's what is going to happen here today.
We're also having our own little party.
We're having our own little party.
Episode.
Yes.
We're
episode number 10. We did it.
Party hats.
Party hats.
We have party blowers. Blow yours. See?
But before we get this party started, Evan, how you doing?
I always forget that when you intro, that means I go first. I'm never ready. I go like, oh, he's introing this one. I'm gonna lean back. I was like, oh wait, no, I've got to tell the story. This is more just like a funny story of someone else's, I presumed discomfort.
Yeah.
I went to...
Let's laugh at them.
Let's laugh at them. No, I'm not laughing at them. I'm just observing.
I'm observing, laughing separately, not at or with.
I went to a sketch show at the Upright Citizens Brigade.
UCB.
It's a place. I went there. I saw a sketch show. There were 3 people who were in one of my sketch classes that were putting on a show. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go support them. And it was super fun. After the show, people generally will, like, stand outside the theater a little bit. And you see people, and you
shake hands, kiss babies.
Kiss babies. Just a few. Just a few babies.
Just a few babies.
I don't like this guy. That's all I'm hanging out. There were a couple of mutual friends of ours out there. We're all hanging out. And so the show I saw was 2 shows. The first show was 1 person. The second show was 3 people I know. And this guy comes up to me and asks me if I was brothers with the first guy. And I was like, what? And he's like, are you brothers? One of those where like the sentence just didn't register with me. I'm like, huh? Are you brothers? Who? He's like, are you brothers with that guy? And he points to the guy who's in the show. And I go like, oh, no. And he's like, oh, you guys had similar beards. And I went like, that's
what?
Not generally a genealogy thing.
No.
But he was right. We did have similar beards. So a little bit.
Did you ask to see his birth certificate afterwards?
Ooh, I didn't. I should
He could be your brother.
That'd be interesting. Actually, I mentioned that in a joking way because I'm hilarious.
Yes.
I was just like, hey, that'd be great. That'd be great if he was. I'd have a new brother. Time passes, as I said. I would start saying. Time passes. I'm talking with our mutual friends, and the people I know who did a show, they come out, and I'm talking to one of the guys, go like, hey, man, great job. I give him a hug, and the same guy turns back around, and he goes, you know them? Are you his brother? And I'm like... I'm nobody's I don't have a brother. But I was losing my mind by like, okay, so it's not, I mean, the beard was like, that was a loose connection in the first place. But now you're just convinced that somebody here is my brother. And just in my mind, I'm like, this is he's having a panic.
It's good to double down. Panic. Yeah, when you have that hunch, you gotta double down.
Whose brother are you?
That sounds like a great game show. Whose brother are you?
Oh, that would actually be fun. I like that. Ooh. That'll be our next amuse-bouche. Whose brother are you?
Whose brother are you? Whose brother art thou?
Whose brother? Oh, you did it. You got there. We didn't know if it would happen, but it did.
But it did.
And in response to that, I
Yeah.
will grant you this question.
Okay.
How you doing?
Wow. I'm doing okay. Something interesting that has been happening in my life is at my work, there may be times where someone needs to stay late. And typically people lower in seniority, but sometimes people higher in seniority will volunteer to stay. But in the administrative building / offices, rumor has it that late at night, when only one other person is there, a ghost appears.
Love workplace ghost stories.
Love those workplace ghosts. And so 2 of my coworkers had said they have seen the ghost, or maybe they haven't seen it, but they've heard it. And they go to investigate, and then they don't find it. But they claim that there is a little girl haunting this building. And it can't be like an actual little girl, because there's no little girl that works in our administration
That's
building.
probably for the best.
I mean, I don't know.
Labor laws and all.
I guess, if you want to get technical about it.
I do.
But there have been a couple nights recently where I've had to stay late, and so I get like excited. I'm like, let's see this ghost.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm sure once I have like a paranormal encounter, it'd be terrifying. The thought of having it is exhilarating. I get so jazzed for the possibility of like a paranormal encounter, or like if I was hiking in the woods and I saw Sasquatch, that'd be awesome. But I was very disappointed. The ghost did not reveal herself to me. And I was like, well, like, why? Come on.
Because you wanted it.
I guess.
You wanted to see.
I wanted to see.
You wouldn't have been startled. You were expecting her.
Yeah.
That's no fun for a ghost.
I guess that's true.
Never expect a ghost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. I didn't think about it that way. I think I was more just like, well, you showed yourself to Cindy and to Jeanette. Show yourself to me.
No can do.
No can do.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I've got some spectral sighting stories.
Oh yeah, that you've experienced.
Yeah,
or that,
yeah. I don't know. I'm fully on the page of like, hey, absolutely anything could be real.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the brain is so fascinating to me that anything I see, you could not be real. It's possible you don't exist.
No spoilers.
And my brain has told me that I have a podcast with someone. So, but yeah, I know I've even got good workplace ghosty stories, but I don't know, is that an episode right there?
I think it might be.
Ghosts in public. Mark it down.
Mark it down.
Maybe that's something. The awkwardness of encountering ghosts. At the very least, it could be in a amuse-bouche.
Yes.
I'll learn how to pronounce that one day.
I've just been following your lead. I had never heard of it until you started saying it.
Yeah, it's I kind of forget exactly what it is. It's similar to a palate cleanser, I believe. I looked it up. The difference is a palate cleanser is something you're just given.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, you just had this meal. Now it's required that you cleanse your palate so that we do this. An amuse-bouche is a choice. It's something you order.
Okay.
That you're like, oh, this small thing to go in between these courses. So I think that's valid for our amuse-bouche episodes.
Okay, yeah.
You did not have to listen to that Celino and Barnes episode. But if you did, God bless you.
Yes.
You made a choice.
Yeah, you did.
And we hope you continue to make choices because we're not stopping.
No.
Should we get into this thing?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about parties.
Let's get a party started.
Yeah.
When you get a party, we're going to party hard. Remember that Andrew WK song?
Yeah.
Did it not sound right?
It sounded a little like it was lacking 80% confidence.
Like everything I do.
What do you think about parties?
I'm torn on parties.
Uh-oh.
Like everything, nothing's right, I'm torn. This is a singing episode. We should do a whole episode that's a musical. But we can only sing. We'll get there. We'll lose our minds.
We will lose our minds. We won't plan on that being a musical episode. It'll just happen.
Even better. I can't wait. I'm like, you know me. I enjoy a little drinky poo. I like friends.
Sure.
I love to talk. But for some reason, like most parties, I end up feeling very uncomfortable. And I clam up. I get very quiet. I stand in the corner. And I don't know. I almost hope no one talks to me and just go like, let me just stand here and then I'll go.
Okay, so you're. I think that we both then must be wallflowers.
Ooh, yeah.
It comes with its perks. We both went for different references.
I missed yours. I was singing too loud.
Oh, I said being a wallflower has its perks.
Yeah. Okay. All
yeah.
Right.
Full dental. I find parties to be stressful, I guess, but there are also a lot of different types of parties.
Yes.
You know, you got your dinner parties, you got your just like general hangout parties, garden parties,
oh my,
sausage parties, murder mystery parties, of course. How could I forget?
Oh my god.
But I think, you know, I enjoy certain types of parties.
Yeah.
Like I like the murder mystery parties. I like the dinner parties. I have not been to a garden party.
I don't think anybody has in 100 years.
But the general, like, let's just get a bunch of people in this house or apartment and go crazy.
Let's go crazy. I guess I'm bumping mics. I'm good with the dinner party. I'm okay with the dinner party. That too. I don't know. I just am bad at meeting people. This goes back to episode 1.
Right.
This is making friends. I think it's like if I go to a party of any sort and I know 70 or 80% of the people there, I am the life of the party.
Oh.
I'm the loudest person there. I'm probably the drunkest person there. And I'm having a gosh darn blast. But if I know any fewer people than that, complete silence by myself. Even if I'm like, oh, I've got, you know, it's always good to have one other person there. Like if you and I ended up at a party together. It's like,
and we have.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, we can like, all right, let's band together.
Yeah. Hold the line.
And yeah, just make it happen. But even then, like, sometimes you end up, and that person you're with, they know everybody.
Yeah.
Now, as opposed to being alone, you are like force meeting everyone.
Sure.
Which is good. I don't know why I don't want to say afraid, but I don't know why I have a hard time meeting people.
Yeah.
Most of the people I meet are super nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to build it up in my head that everyone's mean and scary or awful. And it's like, no, like 99.9% of everyone I've ever met is total sweethearts.
Yeah, especially in the like first meeting. Maybe they reveal themselves later to not be as nice, but generally when you meet somebody, they're trying to make a good first impression.
Yeah.
And so it is generally like a nicer meeting. But I also, the more people I know at a party, the more comfortable I will feel.
Totally.
I also, if I know like one other person, I cling to that person no matter what. Like a little puppy dog, and just follow them around if they know a bunch of people or if they want to meet a bunch of people. I just kind of shadow them and follow along.
Learn their jobs.
Learn their job.
It's like an internship.
Yeah. Every time the other person meets new people, they're like, oh, and this is Chris. He's just shadowing me for this party.
I want to do that to somebody now. He's so mean. They're just shadowing me. Let's roll back in time a little bit.
Okay.
'Cause I have something to say about this. But were you invited, or did you go to many high school parties?
No, with the few exceptions being like maybe some people's birthday parties, and people's graduation parties. I think that was probably it. I didn't go to a ton of parties. No.
Yeah, me either. And I, in high school, had kind of gotten like, I think I mentioned before, like I wasn't a particularly popular person, but like I had a good amount of friends in high school.
Yeah.
I did well enough. I was well liked. And I'd kind of convinced myself, like, okay, like high school movies you see, and there's like, people throw a rager because their parents are out of town and everyone's getting drunk. Like, I just kind of came to terms with like, okay, that's exaggerated. That's not like a real thing people do. And after like the day of high school graduation, my neighbor at the time invited me over, like, hey, come on over. A few of us are hanging out after graduation. I went over there, and it was like people were drinking, and I was like, we're like, what are you, 18 when
18, yeah.
And then they were talking about like a party that had happened, or a party that was about to happen, and it just like clicked with me, like, oh, everyone else has been partying this whole time.
Yeah, like those parties
never been invited.
Do happen, but yeah, the same thing.
Nobody wanted me there.
Yeah, I had the same experience because I know that there were people in high school that had those big parties where everybody was drinking and stuff. But I was not invited to those parties.
Not once.
No
invite.
No
and
invite.
It's not like that's there's the fallacy in the high school movies. It's always the nerdy people are like, oh, did you hear? There's this party. We gotta get into that party.
Hey
man, we gotta get into that party.
It's pretty crazy that Bob Dylan starred in every single one of those movies as all of the nerds. Hey man, we gotta get into that party.
Dueling Bob Dylan impressions. That's like people like auditioning for SNL. They get those very specific character things. I think you can run in there with Bob Dylan trying to break into a high school party.
Lorne Michaels, if you're listening, and I know you are. Hey man, I'm tired of getting wedgies.
I brought Kentucky bourbon.
Between this and putting Elmo in any movie, I have a solid SNL audition.
That's valid. You've got something to bring. We just gotta get you in that door.
Just gotta get me in that room.
Hit us up, Lorne.
Hit us up, Lorne.
But it wasn't until after high school that I started like, I don't know, there's nothing about graduating high school where you're just like, I'm not the like nerdy guy anymore. I'm just a person. And you start meeting other people. I never did the like whole, I did like a short term trade school, film school situation. So I never did the like living on campus college experience. Did you?
I did.
You lived on campus?
I did all 3 years.
College parties?
They happened, but I was not invited.
You didn't reinvent yourself.
No.
You gotta reinvent yourself.
I was like, listen, I came to terms with who I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And that was just cranky old man. And I've just been aging into it ever since.
Well, fine, man. If you're gonna stay here, I'm gonna break into that party.
Hey, just because you want to be a cranky old man doesn't mean the fun has to be ruined for the rest of us.
But yeah, what was that? Yeah, just like
this Bob Dylan impression keeps getting you off track.
it gets me so off track. I commit.
Yeah,
I commit to it. I get fully in, and I'm like, I am Robert Zimmerman. Let me into your party. It is my driving life force. And then I shake and awake out of it. What time is it?
I have a whole arsenal of impressions that I'm just slowly waiting to sprinkle into these episodes.
You know what? I'm so bad at impressions. But I want to be good at impressions. Yeah. And there was one day in my parents' kitchen, probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, somewhere in there. I was talking with my sister in my parents' kitchen. I think I was home for the holidays or something. And I just like full confidence went into a Gilbert Gottfried impression.
Oh, yeah.
Full on, saying like full commitment, not super thinking hard about it. Man, it was so good. And I've tried to replicate it and I can't do it. It just came out of me and it's lost.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those for sure. I remember when I was a kid, because I was like pretty into Scooby-Doo. And I remember that there was one day where I did like a spot on Velma impression. And I've never been able to do it since. And awesome. So I don't know what the trick was.
Jinkies?
I think I said something like Jinkies, or maybe I said my glasses. My glasses. I can't see without my glasses.
Oh yeah. That's total Velma.
Yeah, but I've never been able to replicate it since.
I would like to point out how appropriate it is that our conversation about us not being invited to parties has turned into us talking about impressions we did once.
Yeah.
I think these might go hand in hand.
It's interesting that you say that because in college, my last year, I've talked about the university TV station.
Yeah.
And one of the people that I was friends with there through the, that mugshot, not through the grapevine. Through that mugshot website that I talked about in episode 1. Go back and listen. One of the people I was friends with through there, she would have every Monday like a little get together of 15 people. Yeah. And that's like a solid number, I think, for me to be comfortable at a party. It's a small enough group to where you can all feel like it's one group. And you can all get along, but you can also have it break off into different groups.
Yeah.
But at some point, and I don't remember how it came up. I probably forced it to come up so that I could do it. But I started doing a Christopher Walken impression.
Nice.
And it would then be requested of me to do at other functions once people heard it. And then there was some sketch video that came out of these girls at a party, and they would point to this trio of guys, and it's like, oh, look at these fucking disgusting idiots doing impressions at this party. And I was like, cool, guess I'm never going to do that again. Yeah.
That's so mean.
I felt so attacked by this video. And I get it. It's humorous. So you have to be able to laugh at yourself, but it just laid into me.
Not me. I never laugh at myself. Just every podcast we do 100 times. I have done a decent Christopher Walken impression. The problem is, and this is why I don't do Christopher Walken impressions, is when same as the Gilbert Gottfried one, like when I'm not super thinking about it and it just kind of comes out, it sounds okay.
Yeah.
If I try to do it, immediately turns into a Woody Allen impression, which is in bad taste right now. So I try to avoid attempting it at all.
Yeah, he's another impression that I have. It's an okay Woody Allen impression. Like, you get that that's what I'm doing.
You get that that's what you're reaching for.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a tough one to break out in 2019.
But back to parties.
Hey, yeah, let's talk more about parties. Listeners, you'll have to wait to hear those Christopher Walken impressions.
Yes.
When it comes up more organically sometime in the future.
Just gotta wait. I mentioned it weeks ago, I'm still getting over losing my voice, but once my voice is full on back, I will intro an episode as Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, please do.
It'll be the worst thing ever. I'll immediately get embarrassed and kick you out of my apartment.
And I'll do one as Christopher Walken or other impressions that I remember that I have.
We'll work on this.
But anyways, back to parties.
When you were talking about 15 being like a good number of people, I realized like I used to back in Seattle.
Oh, here we go.
Woo, woo.
Everybody on the edge of your seats. Is he going to say Aberdeen?
No. Have I mentioned Aberdeen before?
Are you kidding me?
I don't remember.
It's like every episode.
What's in Aberdeen?
A mall.
Wow, you're fucking with my head. That's true.
I know it is. You keep saying it.
I have zero recollection of talking about the Aberdeen Mall. When did that come up? No.
Oh, I mean, every time we listen back to these episodes, I'm like, oh, there's that Aberdeen Mall name drop.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I listen to these too. I edit them.
You listen to them more than I do.
I don't remember ever mentioning the Aberdeen Mall. That's so funny. No, not Aberdeen. Seattle. Hey. That scares me. I hate that feeling when people tell you've just like said something or done something and you're just like, I genuinely don't have that in my head. Mm-hmm. I don't remember that happening. And that's why people are always coming up to me being like, remember you went to that party in high school and had a blast.
Your brother's with that guy, you remember?
No, your brother's with that guy. I don't have a brother, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I don't have a brother. Anyways, on that, I realized, like, my friends and I in Seattle, the last, I don't know, 8-9 years I was living there. I forget how long I lived there. I think I only lived there 8 or 9 years. So whatever.
Let's nail this down before
let's nail
the story
this down.
continues.
This is important.
Break out the calendar.
I hate that about myself. How I'll just like get stuck on like, was it 6 weeks ago? Or no, it was 6.5. It was a Tuesday. Like, hey, no one cares, man. Get on with the story. But yeah, so my friends and I would get together every Friday, and it would be like I don't know, 6 or 7 of us most weeks. And in that situation where it's like, okay, I know and love all of these people, and pretty much every week, maybe every other week, some new person would be there, and I'd be meeting a new person. I can meet the shit out of a new person when I'm in a group of people that I know really well.
Uh-huh.
I have no problem going up to someone, introducing myself, getting to know them, asking them questions. I'm the most personable person on the planet. So it's like a comfort level thing with me. I just need to be like, how do I get to just be comfortable in life?
Yeah.
I think that's what this podcast is about
in
general. So in Seattle, the house I lived in that I mentioned before, where it was like 12 people living in a house together, that used to be a brothel. Did I mention that?
I think you did. I don't know if it was on mic or not.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked about it.
Fascinating old house. And yeah, just a really cool place to live. But, you know, living with 12 people's a thing. It's a lot.
Did you find it was cheaper by the dozen?
Get out. But so with 12 people ranging in age from, I think I was 18 or 19 when I moved in there, so think probably between the ages of 18 and like I think 30, maybe the oldest person was 30. There's a lot of people throwing parties.
Yeah.
And so really any given day, I might get off of work and go like, oh, there's a party happening. Whose party is this? Oh, it's one of these 11 people's party.
It's another great game show, by the way.
Whose party
is this?
We keep joking and I keep going like, that's a fun idea. Like, we get someone and they have to plan a party and it's just like their ultimate party, and then you're given 3 parties and you have to figure out like, how well do you know this person? Which one of these parties did they plan?
Hey, we should just take over the game show network.
All right. It's easy enough, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is.
I don't think anyone at the Game Show Network was invited to parties either. Like, we're on the same level. We can meet them and take over.
Yes.
But so yeah, a lot of parties in that house. I don't think I ever threw one of them. That's not my style.
Yeah.
I'm more of a lingerer, like, I'm going to latch onto this party and just be here. But I remember in particular one party. I think it was a going away party. One of the people was moving, and there was a keg in the kitchen. And it was like, whoa, that's like real party.
Yeah.
Happening. There's a real party occurring. There's a keg in the kitchen. And people are you familiar with keg stands?
I am familiar.
You ever done one?
No. Have you?
Yes.
Is that where the story's going?
Hey, that is where this story's going. You read me like a book. Like a good book.
One step ahead, like a carpenter building stairs.
Strunk and white's the elements of style. Readable. It's a niche joke. I do find that book readable, though.
It's a page turner.
It is, when you turn those pages.
Never know how it's going to end.
Hopefully with a period. If it doesn't end with a period, that book did not learn anything from itself. Anyways, I got home and there's a keg party, woo, going on. People are doing keg stands, and the way a keg stand works is you put your hands on the outside of the keg. Everyone behind you lifts your legs up so they're elevated above your head, and you're supposed to just like kind of be like a plank, and you're just, I don't know why. That seems to be how it's done. And then you've got the tap from the keg in your mouth. And you're just drinking as much as you can. And that's never really been an issue for me. Or maybe it is now. But like when I was younger, like I could chug beer. I could shotgun a beer. I'm not bragging.
I mean, it sounds like you are.
Okay, a little bit of a brag. I could chug beer. That was never really, I almost could never figure out what is it people have a hard time with this. Like, I didn't say that sentence right, but what's the reason that people have a hard time chugging beer? Like, is it cold? Is it the carbonation or what? It was never hard for me particularly. So someone who I lived with like goaded me into doing it, and they're like, hey, Evan's going to do a keg stand. I'm like, okay, I'll do a keg stand. And so I put my hands on the thing. I'd watched people do it. I'd never done it before. I'm like, I think I got this. And also have that confidence in the back of my head. Like, I mean, these people are doing like, they're drinking for like 30 seconds and like cheering about it. Like, I'm going to finish the keg.
Okay.
I didn't. So I put my hands on it and people lift my legs up and I start drinking. And I am drinking just like an insane amount of beer. I just keep on keeping on, keep going. But I don't realize, like, my legs are curling up like a scorpion tail. So people can't hold my legs. So the whole time, people are, like, shifting their arms and being like, Evan, stop it. Straighten your legs. Straighten. And they're, like, yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm just focused on drinking the beer. Shit starts falling out of my pockets. And I generally have a lot of stuff in my pockets, particularly back then before I was, like, 100% debit card. I would have like $30 in quarters in my pockets at all times, and receipts and cards and whatever. And so I'm trying to do this keg stand. I think I'm kicking ass, but I'm curling up my legs. Everyone is furious with me because I'm not doing it right. My quarters are just falling out of my pockets, and I broke everyone's record. But when I stood up, everyone hated me. It was just like, I don't think
monkey's paw.
Yeah, exactly. You won, but at what cost? Nobody likes you. I felt like such an asshole, and like I can laugh about it now, but that was a long keg standing. Just so those memories where every time you think of it, it brings that full embarrassment back.
All Alone in the Moonlight.
What?
Memories. All Alone in the Moonlight.
You lost me. I had said too many words. I didn't catch
know.
The Cats reference. But I'm here with you now.
Yeah, now you're stuck here.
Memories. I didn't want to sing it, but I'd already started this as a bit, and I can't. I'll let a song come up and not start singing it. So yeah, that was my kegger experience at 18 or 19 years old. Underage drinking, look out.
Yeah. I am not, as we've discussed, not much of a drinker. Tim Allen, what are you doing here?
Power tool. I'm falling with style. Okay, your turn. What's up?
I'm stuck. I am a big fan of food at parties. That's what I need to see, those bowls of various chips laid out.
I never thought about it. Yeah, party food's the shit.
Party food, yeah. I gotta see that Chex Mix, baby.
Yeah.
If pizzas have been ordered, great.
That's the best.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of party food.
Yeah.
I can appreciate a good vegetable platter.
I love a good veggie.
Yeah.
Platter. I just bought some carrots earlier today to dip in some ranch dip.
Yeah, it's great. The tomatoes, the carrots, the bell peppers.
Can't do the tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'll tell that story another day.
Oh, tomatoes killed my father.
It's genuinely my first ever memory involves a cherry tomato, and yeah. Maybe I should tell the story because that sounds weird. I'll just be very brief about it. Basically, the earliest memory I have, I might have said this in an improv practice at some point. The earliest memory that I have is crawling around on the floor. I had a little red bouncy ball, and I was underneath our kitchen table playing with this bouncy ball. And I bounced it, and it bounced away, and I couldn't find it. And my parents were having a party. Vegetable tray was out. This is relevant. Whoa! I did it. Yeah, anyways. So I'm crawling around on the floor, and I think I found my red ball. And I'm like, great. And I pick it up, and it pops in my fingers because it's a cherry tomato. It wasn't my red ball. But I was a child, like a baby, who was still crawling, and my brain couldn't handle, like, I didn't realize that wasn't my ball. I just thought this thing that I knew was a solid.
You thought it was like an Of Mice and Men moment where, like, something you loved you crushed with your own strength.
Yes. Maybe that's it. Hey, maybe that's why that book resonated with me so much.
Those rabbits are just like my ball.
But I've never eaten a cherry tomato. It's like traumatizing to me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my cherry tomato story. Don't eat them. Don't like them. Don't trust red bouncy balls when physics disappears in my hands and scares the shit out of me. Anyways, you were saying?
I don't remember.
I ruined
we're talking about
story.
party food.
Party food, that's where we're at. You like a good veggie platter?
I like a good veggie platter, yeah.
I feel like I ruined your story.
I'll be honest, it wasn't a story. It was just me saying things I like.
Well, then here's the question. What's the only let's take pizza out of the equation because that's a clear winner. Everybody loves pizza, but party food, non-pizza party food, you can only have one at a party. What is it? Let's put cost aside and difficulty aside. Like even if you have to cook it, if it's like Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets? That's
Hot Pockets.
My parties, we always have Hot Pockets. I meant to say pizza rolls. But the idea of throwing a party and eating up like 30 Hot Pockets is the funniest thing in the world right now. I'm going to do that. You could do them in the oven. That'd be... Oh, man. If I went to a party and they had Hot Pockets, I would be stoked. What is the party food you require?
I've never been much of a Hot Pockets guy.
I love them. That's like ultimate. I love any disgusting pocket full of cheese and meat substance. That's my weakness.
My brother was really into them. But and Jim Gaffigan has talked about this enough, but it's the fact that like every bite is a different temperature.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
Ranging from frozen solid to burning lava.
You really in my old age, I think I've learned you just have to overcook it and let it cool. You have to be patient. It's the only way to get it perfect. Otherwise, yes, part of it will be frozen.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of chips.
Okay, I was leaning towards chips.
Chips
I'm going to ask you to get more specific. What chips?
Tortilla chips.
Okay. I'll let you pair a salsa or a guac with it.
Ooh, yeah, a mild
or cheese.
A mild salsa is good.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd want cheese and chips or like a cheese sauce.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with a mild salsa. Probably like the Tostitos brand, or I'm a big fan of the On the Border chips.
Sure.
Yeah, I think chips. I'm a big fan of Chex Mix.
Chex Mix is great.
Love Chex Mix. I had an audition once where it was for like a hosting job, and the audition, they were just having them all day long, where like anybody could come in. And so you went into a room and it was just you, the camera, and two people. Mm-hmm. And they were like, we're just going to ask you a bunch of questions, answer them as quickly as you can, as honestly as you can.
Great.
We're just trying to get a feel for like who you are as a person. Great. So they're questions like...
I'm kind of like the hyenas from The Lion King.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to eat you.
I'm not going to eat you, but I love to laugh.
Sorry.
There were questions that were like fairly simple. Mm-hmm. It was almost like a lie detector test at the beginning where it was just like, what's your name? What's your favorite color? Things like that. And then
setting the bar
pretty low. But we just keep running through these questions, and I'm answering them right away. And I'm like, I'm killing this. And they're like, if you had $1 million, what would you spend it on? And I just went, Chex Mix. And the immediate regret that could be seen on my face after the words Chex Mix came out of my mouth. And for what I'd spend $1 million on. And the two people... It's
a funny thought.
It is funny. And they laughed, and I got a call back.
Oh,
but
right.
I mean,
no
it
regrets.
was yeah, no regrets. What would your favorite party food? What's your go-to?
I mean, like I said, I do love pockets full of cheese and shitty meat substitute things. But
I got a pocket full of cheese now. I got a pocket pepperoni.
I don't know this song, but I enjoyed it.
It was a pocket full of sunshine, but I replaced sunshine with cheese and pepperoni.
All right, yeah, I know that.
Neither of which are two-syllable words, like the word sunshine.
That's where you run into trouble.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with chip either. My first instinct, Doritos. I love a good Dorito.
Okay.
Second instinct, Lay's potato chips.
Okay.
I love Lay's. Hey.
Yeah.
These are party foods. But I never eat either outside of that.
Oh, really?
You know what's weird is the only chip I buy, if I have some in the cupboard right now, I bought it today. The only chip I ever buy at home is Pringles.
I love Pringles!
Sour cream and onion Pringles. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I eat at home, and I don't know why. I recognize that Pringles shouldn't be good. They are odd.
You watch yourself, counselor.
But I love them. They're so good. You know how good they are? I'd say they're a party in my mouth.
And everyone's invited. Yeah, I'm a big Pringles. I'm a big Pringles man. Pringles and tortilla chips.
Yeah.
Chex Mix. I like a blue corn chip as well.
That's a good time. I haven't had those in a long time.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to a corn chip like a Fritos or like Bugles are also something
Fritos.
I enjoy.
I love Fritos. Oh, this is almost like, is this an episode? Do we just release a chips episode? An episode just called Chips?
Based on the TV show and subsequent Dax Shepard, Michael Pena movie?
Oh, that's right. And chips.
That movie, by the way, atrocious.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's too bad.
It is too bad.
Hey, is it? Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine that movie didn't work out.
So you mentioned that you don't like to host parties.
I get, but I have.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. I guess the thing sorry, I don't mean to cut off your question, but the thing I like about it is I know everybody.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm in control. But what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to segue into my own hosting thoughts.
Yes.
Because I like the idea of hosting a party. I like that idea a lot. But then, once I host a party, I spend the entire time being like, is everybody having fun?
Ooh, yeah.
Am I doing a good job? Do people like being here? The people that have left already, did they really have something to do? Or did they just not like being here and they decided to leave? Is everybody having fun? Do we have enough food? Do we have enough activities? Do we need to break out an activity? Should we be doing something different?
This is what I drink for. It quiets that voice down.
Yeah, if I drink though, it's just another voice comes in and is like, are you having fun? Are you going to throw up all this alcohol?
You're not having fun. You should get up on the table and take your shirt off.
What if the police come in here right now? You're going to be under the influence.
Should you offer them a beer? Is that the move? Were they invited to parties when they were in high school?
That's a good question. Do you think cops were invited to parties when they were in high school?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think you're probably right. Because you always see, like, you know, the people that throw the parties are like the cops are the bad guys.
Yeah.
So I wonder, you know, were they so different?
Probably not. But hey, they got a job to do.
Yeah.
Just a little job. And that job is shutting down underage parties.
That's fair. Have you ever had a surprise party thrown in your honor?
Ooh. It makes me sad. No. I wish I had.
Yeah. I have. And I'll tell you, it was at first very uncomfortable because I didn't understand why all of these people would get together and do this, you know?
I don't deserve a party.
Yeah, basically. It was for my senior year of high school, my birthday. I was like, you know what? Everybody else has a birthday party.
Yeah.
Why not me? And so I decided I was going to, I mentioned that I was thinking about throwing a party, and two of my friends were like, no, you know what we should do? We should just have a surprise party for you. And they said it as like a joke. And I don't know. I assumed that they were not being serious.
Yeah.
So I get this party planned, and, you know, I send out all those invites.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly people are like, can't make it. Something going on that weekend. Can't make it. And so,
jerks.
Yeah,
that's
right?
hilarious.
One person was like, I'm hot air ballooning with my grandparents.
That's good.
And I was like, that is the biggest load of horse shit.
Hey, if you're gonna have to lie, have fun with it.
Yeah, I guess. But like, there's no way that I don't know that's a lie, you know? And so I'm like, wow, I guess this is why I've never planned a birthday party.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to celebrate me. This is terrible. But I also am too stubborn to cancel the party.
Yeah.
Because a handful of people are like, sure, I'll go. There's like 5 people out of the let's
enough.
say 25 that I invite.
Totally.
There are 5 people who are like, sure, I'll be there. So I'm like, well, I guess the 6 of us are just going to have the best party of all time. And the 2 friends that said, we should just throw a surprise party. They were like, hey, we can't make it tonight, but if you want, let's get lunch at Macayo's Mexican Grill. And I was like, okay, that's a fair compromise.
Trade-off.
Yes. And then I show up to my friend Sam, his house, and the screen door is open or whatever, or it's just the screen door and the regular door is open. And so I ring the doorbell or whatever. He's like, yeah, come on in. I'm just finishing getting ready. And so I come in, and then everybody comes out. All the people I invited, oh my God, they're all here. And I had no idea how to react. Because on the one hand, this is nice. They did all come together to throw a party for me. But on the other hand, they all lied to my face.
They tricked you.
Yeah, I was swindled. And so I just turned around, walked back to my car, and like, it was a joke that I was doing it. No one else found it funny except for like one other guy. But and then we came back in, we had a good party, but I also wonder if surprise parties are for the person they are being thrown for, or if they're for literally everyone else.
Yeah, I think surprise parties are inherently a bad idea.
Yeah, because you want to know how many photos I'm in from my surprise party? 1. And it's with only one other guest.
Yeah, oh, God, sorry. Your story's so boring. No. No, close. I'm like not getting enough oxygen. I'm gonna like pass out. Yeah, I think surprise parties, they are more for the people throwing, because it's like the chase. It's like, can we pull this off? Can we all get together and trick this person?
Yeah.
And then we're the good people. We did it. We're here for you. And it's like, it doesn't feel good. You made me feel like shit so that you could make me feel good. It's kind of, you know what it is? It's group negging. It's bringing you down to be like, oh, but I love you.
Yeah, it's just bringing you back to the break-even point of like where you already were, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. In your case, you already had a party set up.
Yeah,
it's not like you weren't gonna do anything.
Right.
You had a party. Everyone changed their minds and said no, and said, "Ha, got you,
gotcha,
you idiot,
you moron,
you fucking dope, you fell for it." Now get out of our picture. Oh, fuck.
The more that we've been talking, the more I'm like, you know what? I did kind of attend a lot of parties, but it was like with the same group of like
totally
30 people. It would just be like, hey, let's do a party. It would usually be like some of the girls would be like, hey, let's do like a costume party. Let's do a formal wear party. Let's do an ugly Christmas sweater party. Things like that. So I guess I did technically go to a lot of parties. Yeah. It was just with the same
group of
people, and it was never like a raging party. Like what you assume a party is, I never went to one of those.
Gotcha. I've been. That did a formal party that reminded me of a stupid story of being. This is like post high school, pre-moving to Seattle. So I was probably 17, 18. More underage drinking. What a maniac I was.
Uh-oh.
I swear I didn't start drinking until I was like 17 or 18. But then, hey. Well, as soon as I graduated and found out parties were real and not something Hollywood drummed up to make me feel left out, I really did feel left out. I started getting myself invited to parties. And my best friend, the guy I moved up to Seattle with, before we moved, we were invited to a party of our mutual friend of ours, and it was a like formal wear sort of thing. So it was like, not like a formal party, just like a house party that everyone was dressed up for no reason,
right?
Because that's funny.
Yeah, I went to so many of those, and it's tough because like it's usually I think the girls that will plan it that way because they can wear these different dresses or all these different outfits that they have, and then every guy shows up wearing the same suit and tie combo that he did the last time.
That's it. The tough thing is like in a formal party, they happen in the summer. It's fucking hot out.
Yes.
And hey, a dress is a nice, cool thing to wear. A three-piece suit is not.
No!
I'm going to wear 3 layers of wool, please. But anyways, so I go to this party. I don't think I wore a jacket. I just wore like a dress shirt, tie, suspenders, and I shaved, so I just had a mustache because that felt appropriate. I don't know. What do you do when you're a 17-year-old boy if not wear a suit and only have a mustache? That's what that year is for. But yeah, had the suspenders, and they were clip-on suspenders. Are all suspenders clip-on?
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever worn suspenders.
I used to have some. Maybe I still do somewhere. They're very fun to wear. It kind of similar to when we were talking about the trench coat, where I'm like, this is so functional.
Yeah.
You realize like, oh, suspenders are like to hold your pants up. They're just so you don't have to wear a belt. I'm like, oh, I kind of like them. I'm not gonna be the guy that wears suspenders and a trench coat. I don't have that.
Yeah, with your mustache?
I mean, that is 85 to 90% confidence required.
Oh my God.
to make that happen. But I wore suspenders to this party and got a little drunk, as an underage person will at a house party, and was having just like having a moment where I'm just like, all right, there was a hammock. That's what it was. So there's a hammock out front, and
seems like a dangerous thing to have if you're drunk.
But when you're drunk, it seems like the best thing in the world. And I went like, all right, I'm drunk. I crossed over because there's that level of like, I'm at a party and I'm drunk and I'm just having a blast and I'm the life of the party. I'm talking to people. I'm doing good. And then you have that one drink.
I'm doing well.
Fuck. You have that one drink too many and you're just like, oh, I'm not doing good.
Yeah.
I suddenly kind of feel like shit and am now thinking about all the things I've been saying and feeling like I'm cool and realizing like, I'm not cool. No one wants me here. So I'm like, I'm going to go chill out in that hammock for a while. And I lay down in the hammock. And I'm laying there for a while. And there was a ping pong table out front. People were playing ping pong. So I was just kind of rocking back and forth in the breeze, watching people play ping pong. At a certain point, someone jumped, like body slammed the ping pong table and broke it in half. Oh. The definition of a party foul.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I'm swaying back and forth in this hammock. And I think my friend Robbie was like, hey, come over here, we gotta do something. So I'm like, all right, and I get out of the hammock. Now right there you're thinking, oh, Evan's gonna fall or something. Like, no, I got out gracefully.
Okay.
At this point. I start walking towards Robbie, and like there's just this like pressure, like it's almost like I'm underwater, like I can't walk far enough and I'm stuck. Like I'm stuck in the air. I can't make it through the air. Turns out my suspenders had clipped onto the hammock. So the back of my suspenders were no longer attached to the bottom of my pants. They were attached and fully clipped on, clearly, to the hammock because I had stretched them to max capacity and could no longer walk forward. Meanwhile, keep in mind, everyone else at the party can see that this is happening. It's just this idiot trying to walk while his suspenders are clipped to a hammock. And then the suspenders broke. They didn't break, but they unclipped. So the metal clips came flying at me and slammed and hit me in the back. And have you ever seen the movie Platoon?
Yeah. Where he falls and got his arms up.
That exactly. I screamed at the top of my lungs and fell onto my knees. And zero sympathy for me. Nobody, I don't know, maybe they weren't watching. Maybe nobody saw what happened. But oh my God, everyone looked at me like I was such an asshole for just for no reason, falling to my knees and screaming. I'm just no, everybody, there's a good reason for it. That hurts so bad. I don't think anybody saw, except I think Robbie saw. That's peak drunk Evan teenager feeling like a fucking moron. But hey, it's a good story.
Yeah.
At parties, I did them once.
Yeah.
Oh, one other detail about that party.
Yes.
is so clearly that party is ending in me just going I don't want to be here anymore. And me and Robbie went to Denny's because there was we used to go to Denny's in Olympia just constantly, 4 a.m. Denny's, just drink coffee like dummies in the middle of the night. And
in the middle of the night,
I'm walking in my sleep. It's a good song.
Yeah, I just couldn't bear to lose the through line of singing, and it was
you saved me.
One of the only times this episode where I've been that does remind me of a song.
It's Hotspot all over again.
I know, man.
And maybe I'm is conflating. Is that the right word? I might be conflating two parties together. If that's not a word, I'm making it a word.
Okay.
I conflated them together.
I think it is a word. I just don't know what the definition is.
I think I'm right. I'm gonna be confident in that and say yes, I used that word correctly. I might be mixing two parties up, and this might not have been the same party. So if anyone who was at that party listens to this and is that fucking liar.
Yeah.
But I believe
drag Evan through the mud.
I believe Robbie and I went to Denny's and found out later that the cops arrived at that party and busted the party, and everyone had to run, and a few people got caught.
Oh.
That might have been a different party, but either way, I narrowly escaped being caught underage drinking by the police.
The only party that I can think of where the cops arrived, similar to you, was after I had left. But it was at one of those, the parties I mentioned earlier where I did my Christopher Walken impressions. Because she also had a karaoke machine. And so that became part of the party every single week. And it was, I don't know where it was from, the karaoke machine, maybe South Korea, because not all of the lyrics were properly transcribed.
Okay.
And that karaoke machine, I had 80% confidence when I was on there. That's where I was the life of the party.
Interesting.
My friend Ryan and I, we would kick off every party singing Afternoon Delight.
Okay.
And I would also do a rendition of Eye of the Tiger, because that was the song that had the most incorrect lyrics.
That's fun.
And it makes it so much more fun to do karaoke that way. But there was one night where two of my friends and I left a little early because there were finals the next night, maybe, or the next morning, I mean. But I guess the cops arrived because there were noise complaints about people. I think they were screaming Aha's Take on Me.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, and so the police were called, and they're like, "You have to keep it down." But I don't think they busted anybody. We were probably all over 21 at that point, or right around 21, because I was 21 at that time, I think. But yeah, that's the only time where the cops have arrived. I jokingly suggested when there was in high school, there was a party going on that I was not invited to.
Yeah.
But almost all of my friends were.
Ooh.
And there were like 5 of us hanging out one night, and I jokingly suggested that we should call the cops on that party. And by jokingly, I mean like it was 75% a joke. But there was some part of me that was like, yeah, fucking let's do it. But then one of my other friends was like, we can't do that for this, and this. Like, cool, all right.
That's where the story
That's where the story ends. No action taken.
It's for the best.
I mean, yeah.
Sounded like that guy had a lot of good reasons.
Yeah, she was much smarter than me.
Not that guy. That was sexist of me to assume.
Yeah. Guess what, Evan? Women can have good ideas too.
Oh, man.
Women can talk me off the ledge from calling the police just as well as any man could, if not better.
All right. I deserve that. What do we learn? Anything?
That women have just as good of ideas as men and can talk me off the ledge from calling the police just as well as any man could, if not better.
Word for word. Impressive. I don't know that we learned anything. I think we already know. I think it's 80% confidence.
Yeah.
I think it's like just be fine. Like I think a party's not. It's never a live or die situation.
No, it's designed to be like a maximum relaxation.
Yeah.
But something about it is still so stressful, whether you're not sure if you know everybody or if you're planning it and you want to make sure everybody's having a good time.
Yeah. I think it's like pack mentality. It's if I'm not a part of the pack, it's like an extreme pressure to meet everyone and be like, you like me, right? It's like just back to back. Here's 10 people you've never met before. Do you like me? Do you like me? But do you like me? Do you like me? And if one person doesn't like you and you get that vibe, it's like, I fucked up.
Yeah, the party's
gotta
over.
Go home. And there's not that pressure. No one else is putting that pressure on you. Just go to a party and have fun.
Yes.
Relax.
Have
a good time. It's just a little party. It's just
a couple babies.
It's just a couple babies. I don't like that guy at all. He weirds me out.
I don't know why he's Irish for some reason.
I don't think he was in the first place. I think he just became Irish.
Well, let's congratulate him on his citizenship. And I guess it's time for plugs.
Yeah, follow us into
the void,
the dark. 'Cause I will follow you into the dark. We did it. At HowDoWeHuman on Instagram.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because we got that handle. What
do you got going on?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
But first, I am going to say, please subscribe to this podcast.
I did it again.
I know.
I did it again.
Go ahead, leave some comments, rate our podcast.
That'd be cool.
Send us any ideas for other episodes. I mean, sure, we came up with a bunch within this very episode.
We did.
But
I even came up with like 2 others that I didn't say out loud because I'm like, I was really like, hey, it's not fun to listen to. Like, oh, would this be a good?
Would this be a good episode?
Listen to us have a meeting. Like, that's a waste of everybody's time. What else you got going on?
I recently purchased a large amount of stock in the company known as Acme, and we have so many great products.
Sure.
And we've dramatically slashed our prices.
Okay.
Because, listen, you guys, maybe you have a need for an anvil or a fully functional winged suit or a fake tunnel that you need to put on like a wall.
Absolutely.
Or like a rock tower.
For trickery.
So, I mean, we have a surplus of these products because, full disclosure, people have not been buying these products in a long time.
I could see that.
So we have a surplus, which is why we are having a tremendous sale. 95% off.
Well, now that you're back selling stuff, I do have a question.
Okay.
I had an old situation where I used an anvil and rocket skates together at the same time.
Yeah.
And ended up crashing into my own fake tunnel.
Sounds like user failure.
Okay. That was going to be my question. That's on me.
Yeah, we take zero responsibility for anything that happens using our products. It's your fault, the consumer. And we just don't understand why no one's been buying them.
Okay.
Evan, do you have something you'd like to plug?
Yeah.
Besides your butt.
Whoa. Uncalled for. Tone it down.
I waited 10 episodes for that joke.
Yeah, I'm currently selling web domains, one in particular.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to sell off, it's mattressman_.com, and there's an underscore after the word underscore. You can start a business under it. You could sell mattresses. Expert tip as someone who has experience with this web domain, you cannot start an unrelated to mattress business with this domain. It just doesn't gain traction, and I've given up on it, but you shouldn't. So if anybody out there wants to buy it for me, I'm selling it just barely above what I bought for it, $3,100. So I need to make something off of this.
Okay.
Because I don't have any money.
You had, what, 3 or 4 businesses that you tried to run through that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. And the last one, I partnered up with Petsy.cc.
Right. For the deal of a loaf time.
For the deal of a loaf time. And I thought that would help with them cushioning some of the burden. And like, no, it can't be done. You gotta, it's just full on mattress. You gotta go mattress with it.
You simply must go mattress.
You've never?
You've never gone mattress?
You must. Okay.
Bye.